few things I can say. I haven't gotten as far in my NCLEX study routine as I would have liked to. School has been super busy, hectic, crazy, especially with my last couple weeks in my CRT rotation. And with interviews, it's been quite a journey. Hello everyone. My name is Kristen and welcome to my channel. I'm currently in my 4th and final semester of nursing school. I wanted to update y'all on what my 60-day study schedule looks like and how I've been studying so far. So if you are interested, just go ahead and keep watching. Come on, forgive me, baby, 'cause I need you now. Alright, so it's been a minute since I've talked about NCLEX on my channel. I'm still in nursing school, so I am actually in school while trying to study for NCLEX, and let me tell you, it's been a journey. So I started studying about 30 days ago now. I am about 60 days out from when I would like to take my NCLEX. I'm not 100% sure of when the actual test date is, and the only reason is because being in an out-of-state school, specifically where I'm applying for my license, they do require an official transcript, and I have to make sure that my degree is confirmed before I send that transcript. So then once the Board of Nursing gets all my materials and I get approved, then that will go to the individuals who approve you to test for the NCLEX. So I'm assuming that whole process will probably take about 30-ish days or so. But really, if it takes longer, I'm just gonna keep trying to change my NCLEX test date. I really do wanna try to take the NCLEX no later than mid-June. There are some residency programs that do start in July, and I would just like to get it done and over with as soon as I can. And you actually do need that NCLEX pass to start these residency programs. So keeping my fingers crossed that everything works out, and I'm just gonna have to be patient at this point. So the way that I'm studying, if you already haven't seen my first video on NCLEX, which I can link right here, I'm actually starting with OB, and I'm going in the order of antepartum, labor and delivery, postpartum, and then the newborn, then working my way into peds. And I'm gonna start with growth and development, and then work my way head to toe for the body systems in peds. Then go into mental health, followed by foundations of care, and then going into leadership, so talking all about delegation and ethics, and then going into adult health, really just going once again head to toe. Now, for the bulk of the information, I am using the Saunders NCLEX Comprehensive Review. So far, I've actually gotten through the OB and PED section, and I have done all the practice questions in there. Now, I do just want to say, this past 30 days has been very crazy. I didn't get to put aside as much time as I would have liked studying for NCLEX just because I had my CRT rotation in 3 weeks, almost at the same time I started my NCLEX study schedule. So I had to do 2 12s a week, and then I had other assignments for my CRT, like a project and then reflection. So that CRT was very jam-packed for 3 weeks, and now that I'm finally done, I have the extra free time now to sit down and really put towards studying for finals and NCLEX, which is really nice because, like I said, I feel like I didn't get as far as I wanted to, and I actually, for practice questions, just purchased UWorld. So I finally got the discount code from my school to help, cut the cost of UWorld a little bit, and I just started that yesterday, and I finally got to update my very messy study calendar with all the corresponding chapters going with the questions. I went ahead and wrote the Saunders information on the left-hand side in the order that I spoke of earlier, and the nice thing is I did add the units on there, so it's easy for me to know what unit every chapter is in, and then I can go straight to that chapter in the book. Now, on the right-hand side, I was finally able to go ahead and put in all my UWorld information. So I went ahead and I broke it up with the corresponding practice questions. I wrote the total amount of questions for each section. So for UWorld, for maternal and newborn, there's 170 questions. And then I broke it up by antepartum, labor and delivery, postpartum, and then newborn. And so for each one, I wrote the corresponding amount of questions. So for antepartum, there's 57, labor and delivery, there's 49. Postpartum, there's 19, newborn, there's 45. And I even put in the pharmacology for OB in this section just so I can go ahead and get that out of the way. And underneath that, if there's a corresponding Mark Klimek audio, because I did talk about this in my first video, I went ahead and wrote that out just so I know if there's an audio specifically for that information. And really, I have gotten through OB and PEDS, and I've already listened to 6 Mark Klimek audios they've been super helpful. I listened to the OB one as well as the delegation, and I even listened to a few for adult health to actually help me on these past couple exams that I've had. So they've been super helpful, and I think I'm gonna actually listen to them probably a couple times before my NCLEX just to help me remember these key details. So yeah, those are the three main resources that I'm using. The Saunders NCLEX Comprehensive Review, just to go ahead and do a quick review right before I go ahead and do the questions. Then I'm gonna dive into the UWorld questions that correspond with the material that I just read. And then for a good summary and overall review, I am going to be using the Mark Klimek audios. I already have the study guides all printed out. All that information is in my first video in case you want your hands on any of that information. Because I am 60 days out, I actually calculated out how many questions I need to do a day to be able to do the 2,000 plus questions that are in UWorld. And I am going to be doing 36 questions 5 days a week, and then I'm going to take one day on the weekend to do a full 75 question assessment. Now that should roughly get me to the very end of the 60 days. One day, of course, I am taking off and not doing any NCLEX studying. The reason behind I'm taking more time one day on the weekend to do a longer study session, I need to work up my stamina to be able to do 75 questions and not get fatigued and take any breaks. My professor has actually done a great job for Med-Surg and has given us 75 questions on our exam. So I'm pretty used to that 75 question mark taking me a little bit over an hour and a half. I'm a little bit slower when it comes to testing. So I do know that that's normally where I lie, and I want to make sure that I continue to do these 75 question blocks so I can continue to build up my stamina to help me think a little bit quicker to take down some of that time that I know it takes me to take a 75 question test. Another thing about the 75 questions is I do want to take a weekend day off to do nothing and just focus on me, myself, and I, self-care. So instead of doing 36 questions 7 days a week, I decided to lump 2 days together, which is also why I wanted to do a longer study session 1 day a week so I can make sure I take that much needed time off. Now, I've already completed the 36 questions, and it took me about 40 minutes, believe it or not, during the last quiz that I took with the 36 questions. So it shouldn't take me that long a day just to go ahead and pull out UWorld, start doing some practice questions, and really just assessing to see if I know the information or not. The way that it's looking is I'm gonna take about 2 hours a day while I'm still in school to study for NCLEX. And then whenever my finals are over, my study blocks are then going to be a little bit longer because I wanna make sure that I get in 4 assessments that I have as well to kind of guide me in figuring out where I stand when it comes to passing the NCLEX. The assessments that I have 3 from the Saunders NCLEX Comprehensive Review. I've already done the pre-assessment that I have, so I have a good baseline of where I lie. So once I get studying a little bit more, hopefully that grade will actually improve. Midway through my studying, so in about 30 days, I'm gonna go ahead and space out the other 2 assessments that I have for the NCLEX Saunders Review. And I want to save my UWorld assessments towards the end of my studying to really gauge where I stand when it comes to passing the NCLEX and really where I need to focus my studying on towards those last couple weeks and even days before the NCLEX. So that is how I'm gauging it. I heard those UWorld assessments work very well on predicting if you are going to pass the NCLEX, and they have great questions in there that really mimic the NCLEX, so that's why I want to save those ones to the end. So honestly, when it comes to just writing out a schedule, I figured the best thing for me, since I'm still in school, is not to really put too much pressure on myself when it comes to writing out this huge NCLEX schedule. So once I graduate and I'm done with finals, I am going to go ahead and write out a formal schedule of what I'm going to be studying when, just because with me having school these next 2 weeks, I don't want to write a schedule and not be able to follow it, because like I said, my CRT took up so much of my time, and I thought I wasn't really going to be able to put much time towards NCLEX studying, and I was correct. But I'm proud that I did get through the 2 sections that I did get through. So right now I'm actually just focusing on UWorld, and I'm going through all those OB and PEDS questions. And once I'm done actually with all those questions, I am going to pick up my NCLEX Comprehensive Saunders Review book again, and I'm going to start reading right before I do the questions. So yeah, my NCLEX study plan overall has not gone exactly the way I wanted it to. That is totally okay. I'm now getting back on track, and I've tried my best to study as much as I can. And the nice thing is I am in Med-Surg 2 as well as leadership. and ethics. So a lot of those topics are going to be fresh in my brain, so I'm hoping I won't have to put too much time into studying everything I just covered this semester. So in a couple weeks, I am going to show you an updated NCLEX study video so you can see exactly how I'm going to be studying. I am going to do that hour by hour time management study schedule because I feel like I need that for NCLEX studying, and it's only to help me stay on track just because I am going to need to write out everything I'm going to have to do that day, and I want to make sure I am giving myself plenty of time to do it and I'm not trying to cram everything together. I want to make sure I'm learning the information and not just speed studying. So I will definitely update y'all a little bit later whenever I get more into my study plan, but I just wanted to give y'all a quick update on kind of what's going on. Alrighty, y'all, that's all that I have for you in today's video. If you liked the video, please give this video a thumbs up. Of course, don't forget to subscribe, join the Facebook group, follow me on my new Instagram, and I always just want to wish you luck on your nursing journey.